Hey everybody, it's me, Dr. Daria Gaffarpour. Glad that you're joining me again for another edition of Friday Night Live. I guess I lied. I said I would be on in about a half hour, 15 minutes from now, but I ended up getting out sooner than I thought, and I saw this beautiful sunshine all around, this evening sun, and I wanted to find an outdoor place where I could just hang out and have a little bit more of that afternoon, late afternoon, early evening sun. And I'm watching the sun go down. I wonder if I can show you. Here, I'll show you what it looks like in front of me. It's pretty nice, right? The sun's going down over the horizon, and I have the Falkirk, what is this place called? The historical place where they have gardens that you can visit. It's really, really beautiful. So there are a lot of private events that will happen here. And it just feels great to be sitting out in some sunshine. Finally, after all the rain that we've had for so long. Anyway, it feels warm too, for early March. It's quite nice. So you can hear the church bell ringing out there too in the distance. That's the Mission San Rafael. So I thought that I would talk today about, taking a leap. And that can come in many, many forms. And to me, this feels like, how that expression, taking a leap of faith. I believe that there's a lot of power in that, in taking a leap of faith, because, it means that you need to be having some level of confidence in your intuition and in trusting that things will be taken care of. And trusting in a higher power, or in your higher self, or in the universe at large, that everything ends up working out. And I want to say it's taken some practice for me to get to that place, but I feel like I've been there for a while, and I don't always have the confidence to move forward on every gut feeling. I'll sit with it, I'll check in with my inner guidance and make sure that it feels right. But a lot of times I can think way too hard, as some of you might be able to relate with, and too hard and too long. And then that results in that spark fizzing out, or that fire fizzing out of the original thought or idea. And so there's been a balance that I've had to strike, and you might be able to relate with that, where it is nice to find, you kind of teeter a little bit. Some things take a lot of preparation and even research if you're going to be making a change in your life. If you're going to choose to take a path that feels uncomfortable or very different, then you may be finding yourself doing some research and finding more information about that particular circumstance or situation. I mean, that's even the case if you're going to be moving your home. If you're moving to a new house or apartment, or a new city, a new state, a new country, you're going to do some level of research, I imagine, to find out if it feels like it's going to be the right fit, but you might not be able to know for sure until you're in it. And so that takes a leap of faith to be able to choose to move forward with what your gut tells you to do. So if you're joining me, I'm talking about taking a leap of faith, and I love it if you give me a shout out, say hello, give me some comments that I can respond to. I love it when I get to engage with people who are watching live. And if not, you can certainly do so on the replay, and I'll make sure to comment back as soon as I get that notification. And I'll be posting this video to YouTube later on this evening as well. I think that there's a lot of validity and value to taking a leap, because we'll otherwise be sitting in the status quo, meaning our life can be real doldrum-like if there's not enough change happening. I think as humans we kind of thrive on change, and at least I do. I need to see things moving. I need to feel like my life is moving. And I ask for evidence of that, and that will come in the form of change. And so I don't always know. In fact, I suppose you could say I never know what's about to happen, even when I'm doing what might be called routine work. nothing's ever the same. You know, when you're dealing with people, individuals, life circumstances, everything is always different. And what I've learned is that being open to that change, being open to things being different, really allows for things to move a lot more smoothly. And one thing that I've learned too, I think that a lot of us has learned is ever since, especially since the presidential election that happened, oh my gosh, it feels like everything has been changing very rapidly. There's always something different happening, being shown to us, that we have to take note of, and we have to make decisions and choices. And it feels like there's something new all the time that's arising that we didn't even think was out there, you know. And so it's important to be able to feel like you can roll with things, just be open to change. At least for me, I found that that's the case. It helps me move from one step to the next, and it allows me to trust more and more in. It allows me to trust in the next step that I'm going to take being okay. So when I choose to take that leap forward, I know that I'm being taken care of because I have put my meditative powers into it, let's say, right? It's important to focus, to really put some thought into major decisions. And that comes in the form of meditation, or usually that's the case. It comes in the form of some sort of meditation or consultation with others who are guides for you, your guidance. Hey, Donna. And so, you know, that's something that I've grown accustomed to doing, and it helps me each step of the way. And, you know, when I think back, there was a time when I had decided, okay, I'm going to purchase a dental practice. I had never run a business before. I didn't know what that was going to be like. But I knew that as a dentist, that was something that I could do. Hey, Debbie, nice to see you here. Debbie knows all about running her own business too. And you took a leap of faith too, because you were working for a large institution, and then chose at some point that, you know, to move forward and run your own business. And entrepreneurs do this sort of thing all the time, taking leaps of faith. Yeah. Hi, Debbie. That's my topic, is taking a leap of faith and just having trust that things will work out. And it's kind of scary when you're making a decision, you're doing something different, something new. People who are changing their career path completely, you know, that takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of guts. But something in you is discontent, is not content. Something in you feels like you need to take a different path. And you won't be able to experience anything different until you do it, until you do take that leap and choose a different road. You know, you'll find yourself at forks in the road lots of times. And you never know until you try it if it's going to be the right path or not. And so for me, when I bought my first dental practice, I thought, well, this is exciting and scary. I don't know how to have employees. I don't know how to run a business. But, you know, you do take a crash course in life when you make a decision like that. And it turned out to be a great decision for me. That practice, that dentist had retired, and you know, he had been slowing down because he was ready to retire. And so he wasn't there very many days a week, and his days weren't packed with patients. And it was perfect for me. So how is it that I landed on a perfect opportunity like that? A small practice that was just perfect for someone who was learning how to run a business, because it gave me extra time, you know, where I wasn't always treating patients. I could learn the business side of things. And the same thing happened when I decided to open up my next practice from scratch. I didn't know I was going to do that. I thought that I was going to find a larger office space near my first one to just move in and have a newer building, have an easier, more comfortable environment to work in. That's what I was looking for, and I didn't find it, you know, in San Francisco near that original practice. And instead I found this empty space for lease. And I wasn't even looking for that, actually. I was looking at, you know, a dental practice nearby, that someone who was thinking about retiring or moving, and he didn't end up doing that either. And that's how I found, you know, for lease. And it was empty. There were 2x2, 4 beams, you know, there was no floor, because one person thought that they were going to have their own medical practice there, and they changed their mind. Something went down with the original plan. that was a huge leap of faith. But something in me told me, I want to start from scratch. I want to create this office space in the way that feels good to me. And I did. And you know what? I'm so glad that I did that instead of listening to some of the advisors that I had hired afterwards for various reasons. I did hire advisors to help teach me how to run business. And they were like, oh, we wish that you had hired us before you did this, because we would have advised you, do not start from scratch. You focus on this first business and get it to a point, where you can sell it. And I just thought, ooh, I was so glad, that's how it worked. The universe had my back. Everything was taken care of. So I followed my intuition. I was really lit up and excited at this idea of doing my own thing. And that's what propelled me. And so I want to encourage you to pay attention to what propels you, what excites you, what lights, ignites you, what gets you feeling inspired. And pay attention to that, listen to it, don't ignore it. And if it's something that's going to lead you away from the direction where you are now into something that feels totally foreign, that's okay. That might be what your heart needs. That might be what your spirit needs to do. And you can always find support around you. Always find support around you. You just ask for it. Debbie is an example of that. Donna's an example of that. People around me that I know I can turn to. I know that I can turn to these people and shoot a quick email or send a message or, do a Skype call. And we have each other's back, and it's so important. And the thing is that you might not know that there are others out there who will support you. But when you take that leap and you take that next step forward, you're going to find that people are going to appear in front of you when you need the help. Just be open to it. So that's what happened when I started up my own practice. It was fun, it was exciting, it was nerve-wracking. And those other consultants were, feeling regret that I hadn't hired them to tell me how to strengthen my first business. That practice, follow your heart, being fulfilled is priceless. Absolutely. Absolutely, Debbie. That first practice, though, that sustained both offices. So I managed to get that one business running, and it supported 2 offices. I don't know how I did it, you know what I mean? Like, how do you do that? I don't know, it just happens. So you put your mind to where your heart wants to go, and you dedicate yourself, you commit yourself to making the change that's necessary. And then you have some fun along the way. It doesn't mean it's not going to be stressful or hard work, but it sure is fulfilling when you get to be doing what it was that you set your heart out to do. So I applaud those of you out there who are, maybe you're on the fence, maybe you've just taken that leap forward to something new and exciting. Go for it. That's something that just lights up your being, and we all need that in this country, in this world. We need people who are inspired and fired up in a positive way, fired up in a way that it's like, I want to make some change, I want to do what feels great, and I know that I can help others, I know I can affect others along the way. That's the kind of community that we all need. And when you set out to do that, on your next step in that way or a similar fashion, you're going to find people left and right, in front of you and behind you, who have your back. And just be open to that, and listen for the clues. Ask to find the clues of the people who are supporting you, and they'll show up. And then make sure to express your gratitude for that moment, for that situation, for those people, because the more you express your gratitude, the more you'll find you'll be grateful. How do I say that? When you express your gratitude, you're going to attract more that you're being grateful for. So that's it. I found Debbie at a live meeting doing product launch formula, and that's geared towards entrepreneurs. And I didn't know exactly what it was that I was going to be doing, but we knew that, well, we have professional licenses that we have to be aware of and cognizant of, and doing marketing isn't all that everyone says that it is. We have to be really aware of our responsibility and obligations. And so along with Jennifer Breton, we found a core group that we just started talking with, and Sharon as well, an attorney that we were just like, it seems important for us to hook up, to connect, to just talk through what it is that we want to do with our businesses with other people who are like-minded and can understand. And that's meant the world to me, Debbie. It's been really fun, and it's been something that keeps me going and keeps me inspired. And I'm not so afraid to take the next step, whatever it's going to be, you know. So anyway, I want to thank you guys for joining me, and I hope that you've been inspired to just take that extra step that you need to do to get to that next place. That's going to take you to a lighter place and to a place of feeling really good. And it's okay if it's scary. We are the aces. That's right. It's okay if it's scary, you know. That's Lana. Good to see you. Oh, yay. Oh, Lana messaged me last night. You wouldn't believe how many people I was messaging with last night. It was crazy. I was like, I just wouldn't go to sleep, you know. Eventually I finally went to sleep, but I will get back to you, my dear. There's a lot of connections that I've made that are with really spectacular people, really, really neat people. And that's part of what's exciting in my life and what I enjoy. So thanks again for joining me, and I look forward to talking to you next week. And again, you know, leave some comments below, and I encourage you to take your next step forward. And you know, just, it's okay to be courageous. It's okay that you get those butterflies in your stomach. That's what happens when you're about to make a major change in your life, and go for it. All right, y'all, have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you another time. Bye.